Guys, welcome to the third video in our How to Create a Gavel Estate Planning Intake Workflow series. This is going to walk you through the first steps of creating that intake workflow. To start creating that workflow, you'll just come up to this new workflow button. Just to note, this is a function that is only available for admins and builders. If you are an organizational user, you will not be able to create workflows. So we'll go to this new workflow. You can start with questions, or if you have documents that you're making this questionnaire for, you can upload those here, but we're going to start with questions. And then you just give your workflow a name and hit create. It's going to take you to this opening page. This is where you can get started. So we're going to go through what a section is, a page is, and your questions. So your sections are going to be what your client sees on that left-hand side when they're taking that workflow. So for this page, we're going to add a section, and we're going to call it client information. And you can see it put that page, that first page, within this section. And then here's where you can edit your page title, so we're going to name it the same thing. Now that we have our first section and our first page, we're going to go ahead and start adding questions to this first page. So since this is going to be a client-facing intake workflow, we're going to make sure that these questions are geared towards your client that's answering. So what is your first name? And these variable names, just name them something similar, something that will make sense to you. What is your last name? And then go through and just create all the questions that you think you're going to need up front from your client. Okay, so as you can see here, I've gone ahead and added some standard questions: client's full name, their address, their state. I did want to point something out for the question types for like drop-down questions, single select, multi-select, anything that has choices. You can click this add choice and then individually type in choices here. But if you have a list of choices that you want to insert, you can copy and paste that entire list and then just paste it into this first box, and it will automatically create a separate choice entry for each thing in that list. So I've copied a list of the state abbreviations, and I'm just going to paste it here. And you can see it puts in a separate entry for each of these. So it makes for some easy copying and pasting, and then you can reorder these choices. But once you've got all of your questions set up, asked if they're married, what their spouse's name is, if they have children, you'll just click save. And then as you're building, you always want to run your workflow to test it. So we'll click on run, and it'll pull that up in another window. And here are all of your questions that you've built out. Here's that section title, client information, and then the page title here. And then the red asterisk means that these are required questions. If you have any questions you want to make not required, you can always just toggle this little required button on any of these questions to make them not required. But that is how you start building out your workflow. We've got the first page built out, and you can always use this little toolbar over here to see what all you have. You can use it to navigate to questions. You can use it to search for variables or question types. And that is our first page built. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of this video. As always, you can go to help.gavel.io if you want more information. If you do not currently have a Gavel account and you want to get started, you can use this URL here to get started with a free trial account. This link is also available on our page. If this was helpful to you, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.